on for size.
Inhibitor cells! My equilibrium destabilized!
Megatron has fallen! I, Starscream, am now your leader! Decepticons, follow me!
What's up, everybody? And today we're taking a look at the New Age Romulus Megatron, otherwise known as the Studio Series 86 Megatron, kind of KO, third party, whatever you want to call it, stand-in figure. Now, before we take a look at the figure itself, we gotta take a look at the packaging. And here it is. Now, this figure is made by a company called New Age. I have some of their stuff. I have their Masterpiece Scale, Dark in the Moon, Soundwave. And I also have a little small Shockwave from them. And what they're best known for is basically making small legend scale, super complex transformation G1 characters from, obviously, Transformers. And they decided to come out with this because, as of recently, it was announced that there was going to be a G1 style Megatron for the 86 line, although a lot of us already know what we're going to expect. We're not going to get Megatron in gun mode from Hasbro, unfortunately. If you want to hear my stance on that, I'll just say it really quickly. I think it's stupid. I think you could still do gun Megatron nowadays, even with gun laws and everything. It's just, ridiculous. Yeah, you can say in the comments if you want, yeah, you're a G1er, this and that. I am a G1er because, to me, I like accuracy. And the Studio Series line is aimed to be as accurate as possible. And you can't really do that if you're going to release a 86 movie Megatron and make him a tank. I'm sorry, but that just does not work. But luckily, New Age has come out here and given the people what they want. And I've been messing with the figure for a little bit, and I can very much say this figure is absolutely amazing, and I cannot wait to get into it. So, first off, with the box here, we got a look at Megatron right there. It says Legendary Heroes on the side, New Age at the top. From a classic collection, which I don't know what that means. There's a lot of things in here that I don't know what it means. It says 01, so I'm figuring maybe they're going to be doing more characters. It'd be kind of cool. But it is number S01, Destron Leader Romulus. That's their title name for their Megatron figures. Got a nice look at them at the side here. And at the back, you got to look at him from, looks like they were trying to do a kind of a action shot here from the movie, which is what I'm guessing. It's been a long time since I watched the movie, so correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe it might just be a random action shot. On the side here, you got some more looks at Megatron there. At the bottom, you got to look at Megatron and some of the stuff that he does come with, because boy oh boy does he come with a lot of great stuff with this figure here. Then at the top, just says Legendary Heroes in that kind of 86 coloring. And yeah, nothing too crazy with the box. You don't get a backdrop on the inside like you do with normal Studio Series figures. Although, I really do like that they emulated the Studio Series box look, like, pretty much down to a T. I think they did a pretty good job. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the box. And now here is Megatron out of the box. Well, he was never in the box to begin with, at least when I was showing off the package, but here is Megatron himself, and he looks absolutely impressive. Now, it's been a bit of a long time trying to get this figure. A little bit of a funny kind of history, I guess I'll say. Or at least background knowledge. I did have this figure on pre-order originally. Then I was going through a bunch of money struggles and problems, so I wasn't able to fulfill that pre-order on Show Z. Then I eventually found a guy on Mercari who was selling him, so I was like, you know what, I'll go ahead and get him now. Because I was getting a lot of things on buy now, pay later. And so this is one of the things I decided to actually get. And I am, honestly, I'm quite happy that I did get him. Because I love this figure. So, of course, starting off with, let's go over the details of this Megatron. So, pretty much, if you have a masterpiece Megatron, specifically, I believe, is it the MP36, I believe? Whichever the other gun, masterpiece gun Megatron that was pretty accurate like this was. But, yeah, let's go over details. Alright, so, first off here, we'll start from the bottom up. He does, I believe, have a die cast right here. And he is painted up super, super, super nice. It's like black is almost like a metallic black. He's got this nice kind of like gunmetal gray on his legs and everything. Very nice job with these legs. Very clean, very smooth. And then, of course, up to the thighs here with this like very nice gray color. It is just a very nicely done figure all around. It doesn't look messy at all, which is surprising. And he has this kind of like metallic blackish kind of look to the kind of whole waist area here. And again, if you have the other Masterpiece Megatron, there are a lot of similarities between the two. Most notable being, you know, like the legs, for the most part in certain ways, especially these butt flaps at the back and everything. He has a very nice red, almost looks metallic in certain ways, but he has this very nice red paint on the sides there. And then his torso is painted up super nicely and sculpted very tune accurate. And then coming up to the arms here, the arms are very nicely done, super clean for the most part. At least I think they're super clean. He has a very interesting transformation when it comes to the arms that I actually really do like. It's very, very nicely done. And of course, out of the box, he does come with his fusion cannon. And it has that little bit right there, which I feel like maybe was made to have maybe some sort of a kind of light up effect. But maybe it's they decided to take it out because I don't see any way that there would be any sort of light up effect or not for this, unless I'm just being stupid, because I don't think this is a button or anything. But yeah, there's that. And then, of course, you know, there's nothing on the top barrel though, but it is a very nicely sculpted fusion cannon. Then the back here is absolutely super clean, very clean looking back. Absolutely love this thing. You know, sometimes these third-party companies, they just do better than Hasbro themselves. And of course, New Age has come out and answered our prayers for a gun Megatron in Studio Series scale. Now, I know what some of you are probably saying who have probably already seen this figure. It's not Studio Series scale. Well, I'm actually going to prove you wrong when I do the comparison. Because technically, it can be Studio Series scale. Because he has a little trick in his legs that I haven't really seen a lot of people even do. But it definitely helps him out and makes him feel a little bit more, you know, Studio Series scale. But he has very nicely sculpted hands and everything, and those are articulated too as well. I'll go over a lot of the different articulation points during the articulation segment. And then I put, of course, a Decepticon logo sticker because I have some of those on his chest. I think I may have gotten it slightly off, which kind of upset me. And when I tried to fix it, one of the pieces kind of broke off, but I'm trying to ignore it as best as possible. I might change that out at a later date, but yeah, it kind of bugs me a little bit. But I mean, yeah, all around this guy's super clean, As you can see from the sides there when I open up the arms. Very, very clean. He has die cast for his kind of hips there. I'm not sure if any other part has die cast besides the heels and the hips. But let's get a look up at that face. That is a perfect looking G1 Megatron looking face. And I apologize for, my nails. Sometimes in a lot of my videos, my nails are uncut. That's just how I personally like to, be. It makes it easy for when I'm making customs and have to make small things and this and that. So I hope you guys really don't mind that as much. I know I've never really mentioned that before. But yeah, that's kind of the reason why I keep my nails long. And plus it's easy to get in between these panels and stuff if I have nails. But yeah, I mean, this is a very nicely painted up face. And he does come with more face plates, which is really fantastic. So we will be taking a look at those. But yeah, I mean, that is a really well done Megatron G1 head. They did really nice on this thing. But yeah, he's got sculpt work here and there. Even the top here is just super clean. And I really love how this whole top section transforms. They did a really cool job with that. But yeah, so that is pretty much it for the details on this Megatron here. So we will quickly go and kind of rotate into the other parts of this figure that are really great. Besides looking absolutely stellar in comparison to what Hasbro might be putting out, it does come with a whole heap load of accessories. Now, as for faceplates, you of course do get this kind of very neutral looking, kind of slightly angry expression. Then you do get this kind of smirking expression here. And all these faceplates are painted up super beautifully. And of course you do also get a laughing expression. And you do get a yelling expression. And I will show you how to actually take off the faceplate here. So it just kind of slides up like so. And then you take this piece and it just detaches right there like that. And then we'll just put in his neutral expression again. So you're just going to take that tab there and it's going to go right in there. So you just slide that on in like that. Take the head and it will slide and just peg right back on in. And that is how you change the facial expression. So it's very quick, very simple, and very easy. Now, you can't have Megatron without having some weapons. So of course there's that cannon that he does come packed with already equipped. This technically is an accessory. But of course, we will take another quick little look at it. Sculpted very nicely. Love the color. I got the little red bit right there, which is a separate plastic piece. Very nice detailing here. It does absolutely look like the animation model. And it is done very, very, very well. Now, he does also come with a clear, translucent, purple plastic gun here, which is from the movie where he shoots Prime. He's like, fall, fall, fall. It is a beautifully done accessory. Maybe, not exactly accurate because it was never really just clear plastic, but it still does look really cool. And I'm glad that it is included. Very nice companion piece if you have 86 Prime. Another companion piece to have to fight against 86 Prime is, of course, the sword. The, energy sword, I think it's called, something like that, Energon sword. But it is in a purple plastic, and sculpted, again, very nicely. We've pretty much seen this before, with a lot of different G1-esque Megatron figures that do come with this. Again, very nice looking sword, and it is sculpted absolutely beautifully. Now, the one thing that you must have with a G1 Megatron is, of course, the mace. And you do get a mace here. It has a real chain on it, which is pretty cool. Would have been nice if it was a wired chain, so you could like action pose it. But you know, I might try and do that myself. But you got this clear bit here, and of course, you know, this clear bit here that plugs into the actual mace itself. You can actually, I believe, take this out. Yeah, so you can actually take it out if you wanted to, for whatever reason. So you do have this mace, and of course, you know, sculpted super nicely. Nothing too crazy. You know, it's a Energon mace, but it's very nice that you do get this along with him too as well. And of course, bringing in the figure here, I will show how these accessories integrate. So of course, the cannon here, it just plugs into the arm here, right in that port. It will be already, you know, attached to him in package, but that just clips right on in. And then, you know, with things such as like the gun and everything, what you're gonna do is just you're going to hinge out the articulated fingers, and I believe it should just go right on in, and then like so. Get that thumb down. I've never actually tried to put these weapons in hand yet, but looks like it just kind of goes in. Oops. This might be a little more challenging than I thought. So we'll put that in right there. Then try and get it around the trigger. Alright, so it's a bit of a loose fit, but that is pretty much him holding the gun there, and then taking that out of his hands. Of course, with the sword here, pretty much going to be the same kind of thing. If I can get that thumb out of there. The thumb keeps wanting to get down in there. But we will wrap the fingers around, and then drop that thumb down. And there he is, holding the sword. Very nice accessories. And then, of course, taking the sword out, you're going to want to remove the actual hand. And then as for the mace, you just simply plug it in to that port where the hand has gone away. And there you have him with the mace and everything. And that looks absolutely just fantastic. I love this Megatron. So, aside from being dope as all hell, how well does he articulate and pose? And I'm going to say right now, he articulates so well that this is, again, one of those Transformers videos where I'm actually going to do a pose test. I usually don't, just because, you know, the main gimmick with Transformers is the transformation and not so much the posing for the most part. But I'm going to do a pose test for this guy because he's just absolutely cool. Every once in a while on a blue moon, I'll do a pose test for a figure like this, and this is just one of them that I'm going to do it for. So, as far as articulation goes, as for the head, he can look down pretty much about that far. He can look up pretty much all the way, or at least as much as you really need him to. He has some side-to-side, full 360 rotation, and of course he's like on a kind of like hinge joint here too as well, but that's mainly for the transformation. As for the arms, no butterfly joints. I thought there was, but there isn't. Technically, if you like mistransform it, you can get a butterfly on this arm, but on this one it's a little bit different. It's very strange. But he has full 360 rotation at the arm there. Arm can go up pretty much all the way. And he does have a bicep swivel there. Double jointed elbows that go about that far. And then he does have a wrist swivel that also has a hinge. And of course the fingers are articulated, so you have articulation at the thumb and 2 joints at the index finger there, and of course the remaining 3 fingers right there. So he does have pretty much masterpiece grade hand articulation, which is very nice to have. And then as for the waist, he can crunch forward pretty much all the way, which is pretty crazy. Yeah, that is some crazy ab crunch there. And moving it back. Yeah, this section here is spring load, so you can get more ab crunch out of him. That's mainly for transformation. So, like, that's mainly the regular ab crunch, but it just, you can do so much with it. Doesn't ab crunch backward, but he does have a waist swivel here that does, you know, swivel around. Then, you know, of course, the side skirts here will flip up and allow for articulation, so we will flip those up. So for the legs, full splits. His leg can kick up about that far, can kick back about that far, and there is a thigh swivel. There's a double jointed knee that goes all the way at a very deep bend. Definitely will be making use out of that. And then, of course, for the foot, it goes up about that far, down about that far, and he does have an ankle kind of like tilt to it, and you can kind of tilt that around, which is pretty nice. So, yeah, he's a very articulated Megatron, and you can get this guy in pretty much just about any possible pose that you would want to get a G1 Megatron in. You can get him in some pretty crazy poses, super articulated. So with that being said, let's get straight into a pose test. I hope you guys enjoyed that little pose test. Now it's time to take a look at the scale of this Megatron. Now, I know there's a bit of controversy considering the scale to this, you know, what I would consider a third-party Megatron. So we'll just kind of go right into it. So I am going to bring in probably the most current G1 style Megatron that has been used quite a bit, and even I still have one, and it seems like it is going to be replaced, which is fantastic. But that, of course, is the well, this one is specifically the Siege mold, but the kind of Siege mold / Earthrise type mold Megatron that has been used a lot. Now, he pretty much scales about the same as this Megatron goes, but this one is just so much better. You know, the Siege mold has a lot of issues that I absolutely just despise and do not like. And I swear to God, if Hasbro, for their 86 Megatron, decides to go and grab up the old Earthrise Megatron mold, I'm gonna lose my shit. But I'm really assuming that, and really hoping, actually, that that's not the case. So I'm really hoping they don't do that. I don't think they're going to do that. I think it'll be a brand new mold, and we'll probably get to see it sometime soon, maybe at their next fan stream or pull stream or whatnot. But yeah, he's pretty much the same size as this Megatron. So taking this Megatron out of the way, let's pose him up next to some other Decepticons, because, you know, that's what we really want to see him next to. I probably won't be doing a comparison with my Blitzwing or my 86 Magnus, because 86 Magnus is just an unfair scale comparison, because Magnus is a huge character, and my only other character, which is, of course, Perceptor, I won't be doing a comparison with either, just due to the simple fact that, wow, my camera is, like, really feels crooked. Alright, what was I saying? Yeah, I won't be doing certain comparisons just due to the time that this video is already getting at. I don't want this video to be too long, but we will get the main comparisons. So, of course, here is Starscream, and I think this scale works beautifully. This scale works perfect, and technically we already had an 86 Starscream. This isn't the 86 Starscream, but 86 Starscream uses the same mold as this, so it's pretty much the same exact figure. So nothing new, nothing different, but of course there's Starscream. And of course we gotta bring in the waves. So we got Shockwave here, and that of course is the Takara box set Shockwave. So there he is next to Shockwave there. I think the scale works out quite well. I feel like if they do an 86 Shockwave, they will probably do this mold again, because it is a really great Shockwave mold. Some would say probably the perfect Shockwave mold. And next is, of course, the fabled... Should I say fabled? Anyway, is, of course, the fabled, or legendary... Was it the Netflix mold Soundwave? And I think this works decently. I think we're probably due for a new Soundwave mold. I assume 86 will probably have a new Soundwave. That'll probably be in a pretty good scale, and will be, you know, super, a little bit more complicated than just this. But I think the scale works out pretty decent. And then, just to kind of throw this in there, just because he's my favorite, one of my favorite Decepticons, and of course, there is history between these two, and a very cool and interesting history, depending on how you look at it. But he's one of my personal favorite characters. That, of course, is Tarn, and also one of my personal favorite figures, because this is the best Transformers figure that Hasbro has put out in a long time. And, well, I will glaze the hell out of the Tarn figure. It's like the definitive, perfect Transformers figure ever. Honestly, right next to 86 Prime. But of course, I think they look pretty cool next to each other. I think the scale definitely kind of works in a sense. But there he is next to Tarn. And of course, here is the next scaling, which is the kind of the debate of discussion, and that of course would have to be the one and the only. Sorry, I'm kind of fiddling with him after doing the pose test and everything with him, but for the comparison you guys have been wanting to probably see is 86 Prime. Now you're looking at this right now, probably thinking, wow, this Megatron is short as fuck. Yeah, he can be short, and yeah, this is probably maybe not exactly to scale, but I'm gonna let you guys in on a little bit of a secret. So, for a lot of people saying, you know, this Megatron is not in scale, it can somewhat be true. But I found that if you take the feet, shift them forward like that, yeah, it looks a little bit weird, but not too weird. Shift both of the feet kind of forward, so he does stand a little bit taller. And, you know, it's not tall by much, by any means. He's still kind of doesn't really sit at eyesight. But, you know, oh my god, I yawned there. I don't know, I'm a little bit tired. But, you know, he doesn't sit exactly within eyesight. I get it. You know, he does feel a little on the short side. But by putting those, you know, kind of feet forward a little bit and giving him that slight bit of extra height, honestly, you know what? I really don't think it's that bad. Because when I have him posed on the shelf, and, you know, if I put Prime back a little bit back, have Megatron in front, you know, I can't really, you know, see it as much. You know, it doesn't really look that bad. But, you know, of course, having them right next to each other, they're gonna look a little bit off in a way. But, you know, having them posed together, and I even did it in the pose test, it's really not terrible. Yeah, I mean, it's really not that terrible, but in a sense, you know, having them posed together, they look kind of fine. And in some ways, I always thought of Prime as just being maybe a bit bigger in a way. I don't know if I can really, I don't know how to really explain that, but yeah. If 86 Megatron by Hasbro comes out and it's the same size as this Romulus Megatron, then I think everyone knows what the real, genuine, like, better pick is, which is this one. It would be nice to see another company come out and maybe make a slightly upscaled version of this, because it would be nice to see this Megatron at least, like, up to here with Prime, and that would be honestly really great. But with the feet extended, he's pretty much like that. Doesn't really bother me that much, but I know for some people it probably bothers them quite a bit. But for me, this is my definitive Megatron. I love this Megatron. This is my definitive Prime. I love that Prime, and when they're in an action pose together, I think it's completely fine. So, with scale out of the way, it's time we get him all transformed up. Alright, everybody. It is now that time to transform Megatron here. So, bear with me, it's going to be a while, but first we're going to take off the cannon here, and then put that off to the side. Then next what we're going to do is lift these arms up, and then what we're going to do is kind of lift this head up a little bit like so. And then we're going to reach to the back here. We're going to work with the upper torso first. So we're going to move this down here and swing this to the side, and then going to come right up here and just kind of try and pry this whole kind of back section right here like so, and that'll release the front. So the front will go down right there, and then this back section will be released. Then what we're going to do is kind of lift this section out here, swing it all the way around like that, and then we're going to put it back where it was, and that is how you get both the arms on one side. Then next what we're going to do here is hinge this section outwards like so, and just unhinge it all. Swivel the head like so, and we'll just leave it like that. Now, next what we're going to do here is bring the kind of barrel of the gun upwards and making sure that stays up. And we will work on the arms now. So, we will kind of swing this arm up here like that, and it will just kind of sit in like so. And then what we're going to do is, I believe under here, there's a tab right there, which will swing out this piece. So just kind of go in there, swing that out like so, and then that will allow us to take this panel and flip it in like that. Then what we will do is we will open this panel right here like that, and making sure this swings outward. And what we will do next is kind of bring this section up, bring the gun hammer like that, and orientation for the fists. We'll make sure that the thumb is down first and that the fingers are all curled in like so, and they should be like this. And then next what we're going to do is we're going to accordion this all up like so, making sure it looks like that. And then this whole section will just swing upwards, and we will just collapse it on in like so. And then this panel will come back down and tab right on in. And then we will bring the kind of section right here back down to close that up, and we will make sure that the gun hammer is up like that. And that is pretty much one arm done. Now same thing, you know, for the other side. Swing this up, make sure that kind of relaxes on in, and then look for the kind of lip right there. Make sure you bring that up so that this panel folds out. Swing this section around, make sure that locks on in, and then, you know, same thing as the other arm. It is pretty much the same process. So fold that panel out, make sure that this piece right here is folded up, then fold on the hands, but make sure you know that the fingers are in the correct orientation. Fold that in, fold those in like so, and yeah, so we will fold those in like that, fold that up, then kind of try to swing this around and make sure that's all secure. Then fold this panel down and it will tab in, then fold that section like that down, and there you pretty much have the other arm all done. Now next what we're going to do is kind of make sure that these panels come down, but first make sure the gun barrel here, while we swing these down, the gun barrel will come in and just tab right there, and then the two sections here will tab right on in like so. And then next what we will do is bring this whole head section down, bring the arms on in, make sure there's enough clearance for it, and then while we have everything in here, make sure there's also clearance for the head. So if I can get it focus here, make sure you have enough room in there so that way everything can all fit around the head. And then everything should just tab into each other like so, and then this part will come down and tab right on in like that. And there you pretty much have the top portion of the gun already all done. Now next what we're going to do here is come to the back, flip out the butt skirts, and then swing these panels all the way out. Then we will kind of rotate the gun this way, flip out this front skirt, flip that piece out there. That will go all the way up and will kind of slide on in like so. And then these parts will fold on in to the inside like that. So you have it looking like that. And then as for this section here, you want to break it away right there. Swivel up these legs and bring them in on this hinge right here. So it's a little bit of a tight kind of hinge there, but if you do get it, we'll go forward. Come on, there you go. So now we have those sections like that, and then next what we're going to do is come in here and pull out the kind of trigger area on the inside of the thighs. I'll do one whole leg first, and then we'll do the other side. So once those are pulled out, just swing out this entire section. Then this whole section will shift up. This section at the back will swing down like that. And then as far as the legs go, what you're going to want to do is just kind of come in here, fold this whole piece down, flip this piece out. Then this is on a slider. You want to slide it down as far as possible, and then flip this piece out like that. Then swing this out so we can work on the feet, and you're going to want to come in here with the foot, kind of split the foot down the middle like so. Then flip the die-cast heel all the way up like that, and then this foot will all, or at least should, hinge all the way in. Then flip the foot down. Then right here, swing this around, fold in that little tab, and then we will kind of fold all this upwards like so, and in there, and it should all kind of fold in along the lines like that. And then we will swing this back around, flip this up, and it will just kind of go in and should lock in like that. And there's a peg right there that will tab in. So that is pretty much a whole leg done. Now we will do the same for the other leg. So again, just like the first part there, fold out this whole entire piece, shift that up, bring that down, open the entire leg, swing this section out, this section down, then make sure this is all slid out, and then we should have the leg like that. Ooh, this takes a lot of arm work, but split the foot down the middle, completely flip out or flip up the heel of the foot there, swing the foot all the way in, flip that foot piece up in there, then flip this, because this section will be like this, just kind of flip it inwards, fold all of this up here, and then flip this around. Make sure that piece, this piece will be out like that. Make sure you flip it in and fold it along with folding the entire section, and it should just all kind of collapse on in. And then bring this all the way up, and it will go in and push it all the way back in on the slider. Then peg that in like so, and there we pretty much have both legs all kind of discombobulated. Make sure that these skirt pieces are all out of the way, and next we will be combining the legs together. So make sure everything's straightened out. Make sure you come in here and bring out the trigger from the torso right there. Then these sections will just peg right on in, and just kind of make sure everything gets all pegged in. There will be a bunch of ports on the legs, and those will just all snap together. And then with the legs here, just bring these forward, kind of bring that down, and then these will kind of lock into their place there. Then make sure that these sections are all secure together. And I love how my phone just goes out of focus. But yeah, make sure these sections here are brought all the way backwards. And you should have an orientation that looks along the lines of that. So once you have that, bring this section all the way back like so. So you have it looking like that. And then these sections here will just kind of slide up and kind of conceal and cover those fists. And then this section will tab into sections right here, so just bring it in, and that should just tab right on in there like so. And then we pretty much have a gun shape. Make sure that came on tabbed. Oop, now that came on tabbed. All right, you know, if anything does come on tab, just make sure to squeeze it back together and you should be fine. But for the last and final steps, swing the skirt pieces over here. They will tab in right there, and they will tab in right underneath there. And so this section will tab in like so. Swing that down, and then take this flap here, bring it down, and that will tab right on in. Same thing for the other side. This will just tab in right there, and then this, you know, section here will tab in right there. So swing that in, tab that down, make sure that is folded back down right there, and take this panel, swing it down, tab it in, and then we will come in back with the cannon here, flip this section around, and it will tab in right there at the top. So just tab it on in, and for the final touch, extend the barrel, and there you have Megatron's gun mode, and it looks absolutely just amazing. So, aside from being a very non-child friendly alt mode, but arguably a very accurate G1 alt mode, how well is this gun mode actually, you know, how well is it actually represented? So, taking a look at the details of this gun mode, it is awesome. This thing looks super, super great. I will be doing only one comparison, though, with this gun mode and comparing it to another gun mode. But right off the bat, they captured the essence of the Megatron gun mode quite beautifully well here. And I think they did a really great job. It's very nice and very clean. You don't have to worry about any paint chipping at all, because I'm pretty sure, you know, none of this is really all too painted up. It's a lot of it is just regular plastic, so you don't have to worry about anything like that. Again, you got the very nice kind of gunmetal like black, kind of metallic black there with the gunmetal gray all around, and it is a very clean gun mode, minus this little section right here. But you know, you're not always going to get a clean gun mode, but for the most part, it is super clean, and you cannot see any robot bits at all whatsoever, which is very surprising. And yeah, it's got very nice sculpt work here. Got a very nice working hammer that actually does, you know, move and everything. But you know, when you do move it, it might, you know, disrupt some of the actual gun mode just a little bit there. So I tend to just keep it up, and now it wants to fight with me. But I just tend to keep it up. Otherwise it will disrupt the look of the gun mode. But it is very nice. You have a working trigger here that does move. It's not spring-loaded, but it does move and everything. And it looks really, really good. It's done super well. Everything comes together quite nicely. It's very lightweight, and it fits in the hand very good. And honestly, I think this is pretty much the scale of what the actual gun would have been like. So yeah, I mean, it's done super well. I love it, and they did a very nice job. The barrel too and everything, super nice. Yeah, I absolutely love it. Transformation is great. It's a nice looking gun mode. It is just, it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. Now, the reason I'm not going to do any other scaling besides this one I'm about to show you is because, I mean, it's a gun. You can't really scale them next to other vehicles. So, what is that other scale, you might ask? Of course, it is the other gun Megatron. That being the Masterpiece gun Megatron. So, I reach all the way back over here. You can see how they look next to each other. And yeah, Masterpiece is definitely a bit oversized, and the handle is very thick, but he does have a spring-loaded trigger, which I really do like. Wish that was the case here, but it's completely fine. But Masterpiece gun Megatron here, and yes, I did transform him for the sake of the video. I probably should have done a robot mode comparison too, but as you can see here, the Masterpiece one, very open and gappy, has some areas that you can kind of see through, while this New Age one is clean all the way around. Super clean all the way around. But yeah, the Masterpiece one has lots of different moving parts and pieces and gaps and whatnot, but I think the New Age one here did a lot better with the gun mode in a lot of ways, because I mean, everything here is like super clean. While as for this, while it's still very nice, it is a bit on the gappy side when it comes to a lot of different things about it. But yeah, that is pretty much how they look together. So there you got the two gun Megatrons there. And I think now I'll move on to the final thoughts and give you guys an honest, in-depth idea of how I feel about this particular figure. So, as for my final thoughts on this New Age Romulus Megatron, I think it's great. It does what Hasbro is more than likely not going to do, that of course being the gun mode. It looks exactly like the G1, movie and cartoon and everything. This is probably, honestly, the best G1 Megatron I think I've ever picked up in my life. I just wish I maybe would have placed the Decepticon logo decal a bit better. But other than that, it is a perfect looking figure. And honestly, the transformation, the look, the aesthetic, the colors and everything, honestly, is better than the Masterpiece one, which is kind of crazy to say, but, it's the truth. This is better than the Masterpiece one. The only problem I think I have with it is maybe it would have been nice if it was a little bit taller, so it could fit a little bit better with 86 Optimus Prime, but, for me, it's not too big of a deal, because when it's on the shelf and posed next to him, it's kind of fine, actually. It's really not that bad. I know sometimes, seeing them both together, side by side, it's a little bit iffy, but he comes with amazing accessories, amazing swap-out faces. I love how easy it is to swap those out. His back is super clean for a robot mode. I mean, this thing is just absolutely clean. I love a lot of the different transformation schemes that go into this figure. It would be nice just to see a slightly upscaled version, just by a little bit, because this figure is great. It is an amazing third-party Megatron, one of the most perfect ones I've ever, held, and everything. It's super smooth, it's super nice, and the gun mode looks absolutely perfect. Just perfect. But, yeah, I mean, there's really not a lot bad to say about it, because it is an amazing Megatron figure, and I definitely highly recommend it if you're not really too jazzed about the Hasbro version coming. But, without further ado, so make sure to like and subscribe, follow my socials, the Insta, and my TikTok for more action figure related posts, and I will see you guys in the next video, which will probably more than likely be the SH figures Deadpool and Wolverine, or as I like to call, Lack and Luster. But anyway,